All right, ladies and gentlemen, Ms. I have the lovely Janine Cousins that just came on board with us here at 7K Metals with our sponsor, Mr. Ronnie Bivens. And so what we're getting ready to attempt is over the next 30 to 45 minutes or so is go through a way to incorporate and how to properly set someone up for success in the space of network marketing. What we're getting ready to do is been lined out in a book called Go Pro by Eric Worre. And Eric Worre made about $15 million in his 25-year career. And he laid out in that book the 7 skill sets that if a person just get good at them, they could actually make full-time income on a part-time basis in this space of network marketing. But if they started mastering a couple of them, now you're looking at a 6-figure, 7-figure, and even an 8-figure year income in this space. And so that being said, one of the skill sets he talks about and we're getting ready to do right now is properly enrolling someone to the business. How do I get someone that if they say they want to build a business, how do I properly set them up for success? Now, keep in mind, my philosophy has always been when I sign someone up in a business, I'm a firm believer of letting people get in where they fit in, meaning I'm not trying to make a buyer a builder. I'm not trying to make a builder a buyer. I want people to get in where they fit in. So if a person tells me that they want to sign up and actually build a business so they can earn a commission as well as a passive residual income, do I set up what we're getting ready to do right now? And I typically want to do it within 24 to 48 hours of that person signing up, okay? So the first thing I would do, and that's what I will do for you, Ms. Janine, is that I want to congratulate you for making one of the best business decisions you've ever made in your life, okay? Definitely want to congratulate you on that. And then the next thing I would do is that before we actually would have this meeting, and again, you can go back and do that part later on, is that I always would give them an assignment before we actually get on a call like this within 24 to 48 hours. And that assignment is this. I want them to log into their back office and start on their associate training and make sure that they start out on their 100-name list, okay? And the reason why I want them to do that right off the bat, Ms. Janine, because network marketing, amateur sale, professional sort, and I need to find out where I'm going to spend my time at. So I tell people every time a new person signs up, I want to find out as quickly as I possibly can whether or not I'm working with a chicken or an eagle, okay? And so my initial way of finding out is by giving them an assignment. And if I see they start out on the training, if I see they started on that list, then I'm going to automatically put them in the eagle category, okay? And so this is something you can do moving forward, okay? All right, and so once we would have an initial conversation, again, I would congratulate you on making one of the best business decisions. And then the next thing I'm going to ask you, Janine, is what is your why for doing the business? Because, when I first got involved in network marketing, I'm sure your story is the same. They told me that if my why didn't make me cry and if my why was not as big as the sky, then I needed another why. I have to have a reason for doing this that was bigger than me, okay? And so if I were to ask you, Ms. Janine, what is your why, what would you say why 7K Metals has to work for you? What would you say that is?
Right now, my why is I need to build my own pension. And I'm crying.
Okay, 100%. Now, that's a beautiful why. And I don't mind sharing with you mine, okay? And Ronnie's probably heard mine several times. And the reason why the why is so important, that's why we have that as the first conversation, is this. One of the things I noticed when I first got involved in the industry back in the year 2000, I saw people walk the stage that were making a 6-figure income and even a 7-figure income, and some of those people couldn't even put 2 sentences together. They wasn't the most talented. They didn't have the greatest skill set. But when I did my research, I found out the thing that separated them from the masses, that they had a big enough reason why they had to do it. Okay, and so I had to identify my why, and my why is that me and my wife, we've been blessed. We've been married now for a little over 30 years. It'll be 31 years in September. And we've been blessed with 5 beautiful children. I thank you. We've been blessed with 5 beautiful children. Well, 3 of my children, Janine, have autism. They have a learning disability. And so my reason why that I have to make a 6-figure income and eventually a 7-figure income is that I want my children to live an incredible life and my wife to live the lifestyle of a queen. And so that's why 7K Metals has to work for me, okay? And so, and I love your story because you're already on point, because I've been all across this country the last 3.5 years teaching and training for many, many groups in the company that are part of our team. And one of the things I found to be true, many of them have your story, Miss Janine. Many of them have been either self-employed most of their life or worked for places that didn't have a pension or something like that. And the reason why 7K Metals had to work for them because they didn't have a 401k. They didn't have a mutual fund. They didn't have a pension plan. So the reason why, just like yours, 7K Metals is my pension plan. 7K Metals is my 401k. It's my retirement plan. That's why it has to work for me. Okay? All right, so that's excellent. Now that we know what your why is, then the next question I'm going to ask you, and there are no right or wrong answers on this, Ms. Janine. And again, I'm speaking the same that Ronnie Bivens would be speaking, but I'm doing this for training purposes for him as well. Is that in the next 6 months, because we're going to talk about a 6-month game plan, okay? At any given time, if I notice you're not getting on calls, you're not being on seminars, and you're not prospecting, you're not bringing people into business, at any given time during the next 6 months, do I have your permission to, if I see you slacking off, to remind you of why you said 7K Metals has to work for you? Do I have your permission to do that?
Sure.
Okay, outstanding. So, and again, I'm speaking from the standpoint of Ronnie, but again, this is a training for him as well. Okay.
Well, he already stays on me.
Okay. All right, but good deal. So the next thing I would ask you is this: in the next 6 months, because we're talking about a game plan. In the next 6 months, Janine, how much money do you need to be making per month? If I can show you how to do that, to make 7K Metals worth your while, for you putting in the time and effort. So what is that number for you? And again, this is based upon you. So how much money do you need to be making within the next 6 months, if I can show you how to do that, to make 7K Metals worth your while?
$1,000.
$1,000. Okay, great. Okay, all right. And so now that we have the dollar amount, so the next question I would ask you is that if I can show you within the first 6 months, and again, I have hundreds of people on my team that are already doing that, so I can show you how in the next 6 months, how to make $1,000 a month within the next 6 months, how much time can you commit to every week if I can show you how to make $1,000 a month within the next 6 months? So what would that number look like?
Okay, 15 hours.
15 hours. Okay, good deal. All right. So here's the thing, and here's what I want you to write down. What we found to be true here at 7K Metals, because again, 95% of people that start out, they start out on a part-time basis. Okay, that's why those numbers are so critical. 95% of people, they do, and what we found to be true at 7K Metals is this, Mr. Janine, is that if a person wants to make $2,000 a month or more within the first 6 months, they need to be putting in a minimum of 20 hours a week. Okay? Now, if it's less than that, now you spoke about $1,000 a month, and again, there's no right or wrong answer, because I'm sure once we show you how to do that part, you'll probably put in some more time to do even more. But less than 2,000. If they want to make 1,500, if they may want to make 1,000, 15 hours a week, 10 hours a week, we can show them how to do that. Okay, so you're on point right now. With the numbers you just gave me, $1,000 a month within the first 6 months and 15 hours a week, that's very, very doable. And the reason why I asked that, because again, clarity is crucial for your success and for my success. Because a goal is simply a dream with a deadline, but you got to know where you're aiming for, okay? And so now that we have the financial goal, Now we have the time commitment. And understand this here. Commitment and network marketing simply means doing what you said you would do long after the feeling that you said it in has left you. That's what commitment is about. All right.
Okay.
The most successful people in this space, the ones that make $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month, $10,000 a month, $100,000 a month, they commit to their commitment. Okay. And along the way, Janine, what they do that separates them from the masses, they develop the mentality. They just simply going to finish what they started. So just imagine. I mean, you've been in corporate America. You know what happens when you develop that mentality for just finishing what you started. You know you have what it takes. There's no job out there that you've ever worked. There's no business you ever started. That if you have that mentality, you finish what you started, you know you can accomplish that. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, so it is in this vehicle here. You know, once you have the time commitment that matches the financial commitment, now that's a recipe for success, because I want to set you up for success. And the reason why I'm sharing that right now is this. I can't tell you how many people I did this same exercise with, and they said they want to make $5,000 a month, but they only want to put in 5 hours a week. And so that's the time I have to be brutally honest with them, say, hey, you need to either raise one or lower the other one, because I want to set you up for success, you know. And so so I want you to write down, if the person you sign up said they want to make $2,000 or more, they need to be putting in at least 20 hours a week. Less than 2,000, they can put in 5 hours a week, 10 hours a week, 15 hours a week, and still accomplish that goal within the first 6 months. Okay? All right. So once we have the time commitment and the financial commitment, now we have to define what does 15 hours a week look like of income, not just activity, but I want you to write down these 3 letters. I-P-A. Okay? I as in invention, P as in Paul, A as in apple. And that stands for income producing activity. See, the reason why some people never have the kind of success they want to have is because they're busy. It's not that they ain't busy. They busy. Not that they don't have a work ethic. They ain't lazy at all. But it matters what type of work. It matters what type of busy you are, on whether or not you earn a commission. Because this company, the computer it rewards production. It rewards production. You can say all day long, I'm doing this. Now, when you produce, the computer will pay you a commission, period. It'll pay you a residual, period. That computer don't care nothing about if you're in Minnesota or New York. It don't care about none of that. All that computer looks at, if certain numbers hit on one side and certain numbers hit on the other side and you're in qualification, it's going to kick you out of commission or residual income. The computer don't care about none of that. And I love that aspect, because that means we all have a level playing field. Okay, so now that we know what we want to do, now let's talk about what is income-producing activity. What is 15 hours a week of income-producing activity? And here's what I want to focus on right now, Ms. Janine, is this. I don't want you to focus on being the expert right now. I don't want you to even remotely look at. What I want you to focus on is doing what one of my $1 million mentors taught me in my first network marketing company. And here's what he told me, Janine. He said, if you want to make money early on in your first 6 months, your first year, he said, just get good at putting folk in front of folk that know more about the business than you. That's it. So you want to be, I did a training the other night for the ones that I'm helping become silver in the next 60 days, because the company has a 100-ounce silver bar on the table. And so I put an analogy. I'm an evangelist, so I put it in an analogy that they can understand, from a church perspective. And here's what I want you to get good at. And you can definitely learn from Ronnie, because he's one of the best at it. Okay, all I want you to focus on right now is being the best usher in 7K medals, because here's what success is going to look like for you. And I'm going to explain everybody's role. Success for you right now, Ms. Janine, is this. I want you to do the ushering. Let myself and the other leaders do the preaching, and then we're going to help you take up the offering. Okay? All right, that's how it's going to work. I want you to be the best usher in the church.
Amen.
You do the ushering. You get them to the presentation. Let us do the preaching. Let us do the presentation. And then we're going to help you take up the offering. We're going to help you sign them up. That's it. That's it right there.
Okay. Yep.
If you can be the best usher in the first 6 months, you're going to be making $1,000 plus a month by the time the 6 months is over. All because, not because you were the best presenter, not because you knew gold and silver inside and out, but because you was a real good usher. That's it. See, oftentimes, the challenge is, especially with people that are excellent at what they do, whatever their chosen field of endeavor, especially with those that have a high education, they got more degrees than a thermometer. Okay, the hardest thing for them to do is to humble themselves and recognize that early on you're not the expert, but let the expert be the expert and utilize the fact that some people know more about the business right now than you do. That won't always be the case. But if they know more and they're willing to help you become successful, let them do it. Do your part. All you want to do is just get them to the presentation, get them to the show. If you get good at every single presentation, every single week, you get 5 to 10 people in front of it, you're going to have people signing up every week. Because here's what I know to be true, Miss Jane, is this. You're an intelligent lady. Just by having the conversation, I know that about you. And typically intelligent people hang out with like-minded people. Now, if it made sense to you, it's going to make sense to the people that you already know. So all you want to do is for them to see it the same way you saw it. And if you just remove yourself from the equation and just be the best greeter, the best promoter to get them to the show, you, I, and Ronnie going to be cashing checks. That's it. It's really that simple. Now, yes, I want you to go into the associate training so you can learn how the business works. I want you to go into the buyer certification so you can learn more about gold and silver. I want you to do that. But right now, because you say you want to make money, you want to get to that $1,000 a month residual, and I want you to write down because I want you to study that compensation plan so you understand it. But here's how it works. The residual is based upon you buying a coin of the month, and people on both sides. It's a binary compensation plan. People on both sides of you also buying coin a month. But just to let you know what the target is, if you want $1,000 a month residual, here's the thing. When you got 500 points on the left and 500 points on the right, this company pays out a $500 residual. Okay, a $500 commission. All right. From a residual standpoint, you have to have 34 people minimum on the left side, 34 people minimum on the right side. If they're buying a coin and you personally sponsor 2 people, one left and one right, as a $500 residual every month hitting your mailbox, whether you get out of your bed or not. So to make the numbers easier, I'll just round it up one. So 35 on the left, 35 on the right. So that means if I got 70 people on my team, and if 35 on the left and 35 on the right, by one coin a month, I got a $500 a month residual. Now, your goal is $1,000, okay? So that means that I need to have 70 on my left team and 70 on my right team buying a coin. So less than 150 people, but 140 people on my team, 70 on the left team and 70 on the right team. And if I've just personally sponsored just 2 people, one left and one right, that means that, Ms. Cousins, you have $1,000 coming to your mailbox every month, whether you get out of your bed or not. So you said it right earlier, residual, because residual is how you play the game. Yeah, I've earned hundreds of thousands of dollars in commission, but that was never my deal. My deal has always been to have hundreds of thousands in residual every year,
right?
Just based upon people buying coin. That's how you myself, and Ronnie. That's how we play the game. Residuals, how you play the game.
You're welcome. Okay.
But for yourself, Miss Cousins, I want you to write down 70 in left, 70 right, and that's 1,000 a month residual. So the goal is to have at least 140 people on your team in the next 6 months. So if we break it down, if we reduce it to the ridiculous, 6 and the 14 goes twice, at least 20. And 6 going to 20 3 times. That's 23. All right. So and that leaves another 20. So basically 24 people a month. So in the next 6 months, we need to focus on, let's bump it up to 30, because everybody going to do what they're supposed to do. So that means, so for the next 6 months, we had to have a minimum of 30 people coming on your team every month. So by the time 6 months is over, oh, no, that's not. Because, again, it's people on your team. That's not you personally. That's you, me, and Ronnie helping you build a team. That's not you personally.
Okay.
Your goal, we're going to show you how to personally sponsor 6 to 10 people in the next 6 months. 6 to 10 people. That's very doable. Okay. But through those 6 to 10 people, it's going to be very doable to have at least 30 people come on board every month. Because like right now, Ronnie's team is moving to the point, his team grows every week. And before you know it, before July is over with, his team will be growing every single day. Okay?
Okay.
Every day. So we're going to show you how to do that. But I just want you to write down, at the end of 6 months, you want to have at least 70 people on your left team and 70 people on your right team. And if you got that many on both teams buying one coin, $1,000 going to show up in your mailbox every month, whether you get out of your bed or not. And then once we've done that, we know, okay, to get it up to 2,000, just double the numbers. Get it up to 3,000, double the numbers.
140 people.
That's right. 70 on the left team, 70 on the right team. All right, because you got to support both teams. All right, so that's what I want you to focus on this week. Being the best usher, see how many people you already know. And if you do that, my promise to you, Miss Cousins, is that success will not elude you. Okay? Okay. All right, so that being said, I'm going to end the recording.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell so you are going to be one of the very first to be notified immediately after each and every upload. Thank you for your support. You are appreciated.